Mark.
Welcome, everybody, to the AA podcast.
Stands for Annie is an asshole, or what was the other one? We had a lot of them.
There's more coming. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Also, right. For all
first episode,
for all you first-time listeners, don't worry, you're not alone.
Everyone's a first-timer. That's right.
Yeah. So, we're gonna do a little introductions of ourselves, I think.
My name is Will. I am 22. Yeah, 22. I just turned 22. Doing fuck all with my life.
Still kicking.
Going to college. Yeah, unfortunately. They didn't abort me quick enough. There's a law now. Yeah, I'm pretty boring. Nothing new.
Well, kind of like we're kind of doing like an opposites thing here. So like, I'm Chris, 20, kick-ass life. I'm pretty much a Navy SEAL, and
oh fuck,
yeah, and I'm saving the galaxy, one day at a time, you know. But don't worry, I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like the rest of you kind folks. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure thing. So the reason we started the idea for a podcast is we have a really crazy grandma. We share a grandma, and well, of course we do. We're cousins.
Yeah.
And she's pretty crazy. And
no.
I've always just kind of like tell like one story at a time as I hear it, but I wanted to put it all in one place,
right,
where we can all come across it when we're 40 and show our kids, be like, listen, I know like our mothers are crazy, but just wait till you see this one.
Right. So I know when we say crazy grandma, you may be thinking, well, my grandma's pretty crazy too.
Nope. No, she's not.
She's not that crazy. All right, your grandma's probably a pretty nice person. I think after this, you might want to go to your grandma and say, "Wow, I was wrong about you."
Thanks a lot, Grandma. You're great.
Should have never doubted you, Granny.
as per the name of this podcast, Annie's an asshole. My grandma's name is Annie.
Yeah.
Shocker. And
there's
a lot of stories I've heard about her.
Why don't we just start at the beginning? You know.
Unfortunately, she was born.
She was born into this world.
I've heard Illinois. I've heard Kentucky. I've heard Ohio. I don't know where she's born. She's told me a lot of different stories on where she's born. Okay. Well, apparently, her last name comes from a German king. We are descendants of a German king.
Right.
Because we have a German last name. She has a German last name. And
well, that's Glassburn, right?
Well, no, like, so Tom's last name, sorry. Tom's last name. Tom is Annie's husband. Tom's last name is German. And I did some research into this. She said we were descendants of a German king. And I found two German kings with the same last name. One of them was the Holy Roman Empire, which first off doesn't count. It's like, it was like 900 AD.
Everyone's related to the Holy Roman Emperor.
So he was like 900 AD. He lasted for like 20 years, and then he got chopped.
Otto the Great, look him up.
Yeah,
great guy.
Annie has said that this king fell out of favor with the people and then emigrated to America. And there's only one king that fits like the even possibility of that happening, and it's a guy. His first name wasn't Otto, but like he was on the throne because of monarchy. You know, if you were in the family, you had to be on the throne at some point.
Yeah.
But he has like. He had severe mental deficiencies, is what I've read on him, like severe, to where he couldn't do his job, and so there were just regents ruling for him, and he did get like thrown out of power because people were like, "Well, this guy can't read. We don't need him as a king." So, yeah. She told me that, and how we're descended from royalty. We're not. If we are,
it's very distant. It's not a direct lineage.
It's very distant. Not at all, and
right.
We're probably more related to Genghis Khan than we are to any Ottos, like any great King Ottos in German history. And there's only one to speak of, and it wasn't even a united Germany. It was Bavaria, so it doesn't count.
That's not even the best part.
No, it's not.
Okay. Well, this definitely establishes a classic character trait of Annie.
She likes to tell stories, and not very good stories.
She's a storyteller and a big fibber. Tell you what.
She fibs.
She's a fibber.
I love the word fib. It's a great word.
Yeah, it is. It's very underutilized. Like, people just go with lie or bullshit or whatever.
No. Fib? It's a good one.
It's a good one. It
That's
catches them
what-
off guard. They're like, yeah, I did fib. You're right.
That's 2 big letters in playing Words with Friends. There you go. So I have a bunch of emails from Annie. So I write in my spare time, and it's usually just about like political stuff. And Annie's big on politics, so I will send it to her because I want to see what the most extreme of extreme reactions could be to the stuff I write.
Granny Annie is a staunch conservative, to say the least.
Well, you wouldn't have to say that after I read some of the stuff.
Okay.
So, let's see. One of the ones I recently sent, I titled it "Absolutism Until Death," which is basically how everyone's going like to one side of the political spectrum.
Of course, the polarization.
Yeah, it's super polarized, and that it's going to like lead us to our failure.
Right.
And in it, I kind of mentioned I was. So the audience of it was mostly conservative, as in my family and a couple of friends, and they're all fairly right of center. So I was kind of like attacking their ideas. I was like, okay, if you're so like, okay, abortion is bad, okay, but you can't just be like ban all of it if they if they do it felony. That doesn't work. It's not going to work. Shout out Bama.
Okay.
And I basically just like kind of poked at their stuff, and then obviously there's stuff the liberals do too. I'm not going to say there isn't. But I sent an 8-page paper. It took me about 3 hours to write. And in response, I got 8 emails.
Only 8? Only 8?
Only 8, except one of them 47 pages long.
Are you? Was it all original writing?
Or it was all original writing. It was so.
Holy shit!
She can't write. She has a microphone like we do, and she dictates to it, and it writes for her, which makes her writing
because
pretty bad.
Of her lack of hips and shoulders. She cannot write, apparently.
Okay. So, which story should we tell them first about how she got the titanium hips and shoulders? Because there's multiple ones that she's told us and that I've heard of.
So,
I don't know which one's true.
I actually don't know how many times she got her shoulders replaced, because it seemed to me like as I was growing up, she slowly added more robotic parts onto her body. Like,
and you think that'd make her Terminator? No,
some kind of Darth Vader, like, I don't know, like Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy type of deal.
So there's the one that I grew up on hearing is that she was a teacher in Chicago, like an elementary school teacher.
Right.
And what she tells me is that a kid in her class wanted to join a gang. An elementary school kid. He was in elementary school. He wanted to get into a gang.
6th grade max.
Yeah, at max. And she says that this kid wanted to get into a gang, so he had to do like an initiation thing. You know how like they do in gangs where you have to like steal a car. You ever seen Gran Torino? That was a thing.
Of course.
And to do this, he had to hurt somebody, and he decided to hurt Annie, and he did this by pushing her down a flight of stairs. I lived on that. I was like, okay, that's okay. If you're an elementary school kid is pushing you down a flight of stairs, they don't just do it to join a gang. They have a reason. Like they hate. But I kind of just took it and I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. So the first story I heard about the incident is she was riding in the back of a car and didn't have her seatbelt on.
Oh my god, I heard this one.
Flew through the windshield of the car when they like ran into something, and like was sprawled on the ground, and she was like dying basically. And my mom used to tell me that story every time I didn't wear my seatbelt in the car, and I was like, wow, okay.
I knew that happened, but I didn't think it was that bad. I heard like it was right after, or like she took a tumble down the stairs. Right after Nan took a tumble. She then got in a car accident, and then she threw in the towel all night. And
she basically
like literally
gave up.
threw in the towel. Because I was talking with Michael, Chris's brother, and I said, like, do you have any stories on Annie? And this was just recently, and he said, yeah. When I was living with her, because he lived with her when she was 8-ish or 9-ish. She came over to the doctors one day and said, so I went to the doctors and they said I'm not allowed to go outside anymore. So like that's where she threw in the towel. She was like, I just don't want to go outside anymore. And like that was after the car accident and after she got knocked down the stairs. But the story that I now believe to be true, and this is something that Michael told me recently, because I was able to see him recently. Annie was a teacher in Middleburg, Florida.
Middleburg?
Now, Middleburg, Florida is right in between Jacksonville and who the fuck knows where.
It's like Yankee Town, dude.
Yeah, no one, like, it's there, but who knows where it is. It's like there's a question mark.
Like, is it a real place?
Yeah.
Were you a teacher? Were you really a teacher?
But she ran a classroom for the kids who had behavioral problems. So, you know, if they got in fights or like talked back to the teachers,
wasn't like
they got
special
sent
ed.
to this classroom. It was like kids who had attitude problems.
Right.
And there's like a couple ways you could go about teaching a classroom like that. One of the ways you definitely shouldn't teach it is like a Nazi, and she taught it like a Nazi. Mm-hmm. And when I say Nazi, I mean like very, very strict rules, no fun allowed. Like if you were smiling, she got uppity about you. And there was this one kid that came into the class. He was in 8th grade, I believe he was, and he had a lot of trouble like dealing with teachers and all that, and dealing with authority. But he was a really good artist. Like he drew a lot, and in 8th grade, he was like, you love one thing, and then when that one thing gets taken away from you, you like commit suicide or whatever. I mean, that's what I did when I was 8th grade. Annie found out that he liked drawing and took drawing away from him. Like they had like an hour where they got to like be artistic and draw.
Yeah.
She like picked this kid out of the group and made him do math problems instead of doing like drawing. The only thing he loved.
Of course, you gotta target the most important thing to a person in order to break them.
In prison, yeah. And she like her goal was to break kids, and like she's told me stories. I'll have to pull them up.
Yeah.
I get like 10 emails from her a day.
Yeah, I don't even check those emails ever.
I do when I'm feeling like, oh, what's some bullshit today. But I was going through one of them, and like she basically bragged about how she would break kids to make them do what she told them to do, and this was just by like yelling at them nonstop and being a terrible person.
Yeah.
And this kid, after like 2 weeks, had enough of it. Like straight up had enough, and she's sitting there in his ear yelling at him about doing math, and he throws all his papers on the ground, stands up, chokes Annie out, throws her on the ground, and then beats the shit out of her, and then drops out of class. Like, drops out of middle school. I assume he went to prison, some kind of prison.
Juvenile detention.
Something like that. And, but then Annie, she like settled with the county like school district board or whatever, and got some money out of it, and then threw in the towel, like straight up threw in the towel at like 40 years old.
Yeah.
And
her giving up on life also meant she gave up on apparently any social interaction
oh my
that was
God.
like normal.
Well, okay, yeah, I was about to say, because she talks the ear out of Tom.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so she'll like go up to people in public, like just random people, and this is the type of shit you would see on like a prank channel on YouTube. Like,
here's what she does. Ready? She knocks on them. She goes, "Hey, I have titanium hips and shoulders. Let me tell you how I got it. You should talk to Ben Carson."
She'll like give them random ass sad details about her life, and then tell them what they're doing wrong in the current moment. Like, she'll be like,
"Have you found God?"
I really don't like the way you're taking care of your kids. Like, she's that lady. She is that lady, but all the time, at all hours of the day.
She sent me an email recently, and this was totally unsolicited. Like, I don't respond to her emails. When she calls me, I don't pick it up.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we have these. What? Oh, I'm just looking through them now. I have an email from her. Do you love me? Not gonna open that one right now. This was right after Mother's Day too. Shit. But it was an email, and it was a forward from this random guy, and he was doing a mission trip to Ethiopia, and she kind of attached to it. She said, "Oh, I think it would be great if you could go here. I know you've been questioning your religiousness and your sexuality," which I wasn't.
Of course.
I know I'm not Christian, and I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure I'm gay, unless like Tim Tebow gets really cool about a lot of things. So yeah, straight. And but she thinks I need to go to Ethiopia with a bunch of Christians to figure out my sexuality and my Christianity. And I was like, okay, whatever. And
Ethiopia.
I closed it. Yeah, well, that's pretty far away, and I don't know if they speak English there, or anything.
They speak Ethiopian, I would assume.
Probably. I mean, well, like Britain had an entire area at some point.
Well, yeah, but isn't that like the one place that kept its own language in Africa? Old Haile Selassie.
Oh, Haile Selassie. Yeah, he was a great one.
Yeah.
He might have. I'm not sure.
He might have done it. He might have just... Son of a bitch did it.
He might have just went and did it. Who knows?
Love that guy. All right. But yeah.
She was supposed to send me there, and I ignored it. And then I got another email, except this time a direct email from this guy, the guy who was doing the mission trip. And I was like, hey, Will, I've spoken to your grandmother recently, and she said you're very interested in going on this mission trip. And I said, no, I'm not. And I was pretty upset about it.
Jesus Christ.
And then I got a call from him, like it was an automated call, but it was a call from like their office or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, we heard you have interest in this thing. Would you like to donate to our church or like, come down and visit us for certain? I don't know. I hung up pretty quick. But holy shit.
Yeah.
Unsolicited things, not left, right, and center. Also, a quick little note about my family. So my dad is old. My dad is...
he's an oldie.
Yeah. Annie was born in 1943 in December, I believe. My dad was born that same year in November. So my dad is older than my mom's mom, which is pretty weird. Yeah.
She was born right when the war was ending.
The worst time.
Actually, no, it was like during the worst part of the war.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not for America. We were doing okay.
Annie Warborn Otto.
But so Tom, I've spoken with Tom recently because I see him whenever I go home to visit my parents, and Tom is. Remember how Tom used to play PS2 with us? And,
I think we need a little backstory on old Tom Otto.
On old Tom.
So back in my childhood, I feel like going to see our grandparents was like a chore. It was a chore, right? Because you had to be at home with Annie sometimes, and that was the worst times of my childhood. But I would say some of the best times were going out and hanging out with old Tom. Yeah.
Tom was great.
He was a great guy. He would take us to go work in his wood shop, to the pool.
He had a great wood shop.
He would take us golfing.
We'd golf sometimes, and then we'd play
he would take us to all these super cool places, and then
a couple times I got him to play the PS2 with us.
Yeah.
It was like PGA Tour and
it was only games he would want to play. He had he had some Corvette game or some shit like that.
Yeah, we had a racing game that he played.
Yeah.
And he was pretty good at it. I mean, for a 12-year-old, I thought he was pretty good at it. But
yeah, I mean, he's an old ass guy. He doesn't play video games ever. So
yeah, he doesn't even have his own phone.
Yeah.
The fact that he was playing video games was pretty great. I loved hanging out with him. So he paid the price of seeing Annie to get the reward of hanging out with Tom.
He was he was a light. All right.
He was a light in the tunnel. But yeah, he's a great guy. And now he's just a shell of a person.
Right. So I think over the years, she's just wore him down so much. Because I don't know if you remember, back when we were really little, she could still do a lot of stuff for herself.
She could, yeah. She was able to get out of the car herself and
she was mobile enough to do everything.
You remember when she cooked us?
Yeah.
Every time we came, she cooked us waffle or pancakes with our letters, our names as letters.
Yeah. They were pretty shit, if I remember correctly.
They were terrible. They were banana ones, which are the worst kind of pancakes. But she was doing stuff.
Yeah. She could wipe her own ass.
She could clean her. She could shower herself.
Yeah.
Now Tom has to shower her, which is pretty gross.
She also, just to add to the image, she carries an oxygen tank around with her everywhere. Which Tom
does she carry it, or does it carry her?
Yeah. I mean...
also, it might sound like we're really ragging on her, but she rags on us a lot.
Yeah. I don't know if you realize the sheer amount of, childhood trauma that she caused. So my little brother Mark, all right, didn't know how to read until he was 8 or 9.
Yeah, it was pretty late.
He had some trouble because when he was younger,
he had a medical excuse for not being able to read.
Yeah, when he was younger, he was deaf a little bit, so he couldn't talk. So it took him a while just to learn how to talk and understand the language, let alone
he
read and write.
Off with a few years handicap.
Yeah, so she got on his ass pretty hard, being a former teacher from Middlesbrough.
Yeah, from wherever the fuck.
She decided it was her God-given mission to instruct this little boy how to read, and he already had speech teachers working with him. He had his own teachers helping him and like being very nice and like understanding, walking him through it, and he was like kind of getting it. She goes full like 1940s teacher on him and
hits him.
He starts hitting him and shit and like making him sit while we play, and and he's just like going through flashcards on words and stuff. It was the worst thing I've ever seen, and like she kept calling him. At the highest level. Kept calling him dumb and like calling him all these names and like saying he was retarded to his face. And
it was pretty bad.
Eventually, he just snaps and starts yelling back at her, and she gets all like she starts guilt tripping him. She calls his parents, like our parents, and she starts like making a huge deal about him yelling back at her. And
your dad wouldn't do anything, but your mom did.
Yeah, like he got in so much trouble. But
like there's only so much you can take as a person.
Yeah. Okay, so also, if you're not a Christian and you admit that to her,
I made the mistake of doing that.
She will flip shit on you.
I have gotten. Last time I went to her place, she tried to force me to go to a church with her, like in her. It's not like an old folks' home. It's like an old folks' apartment complex. They all live right next to each other. I've eaten their food. It's fucking awful. It's the worst food I've ever had. Yeah. I mean, it has to be if you're old. But yeah, like I mentioned in one of the papers I wrote, and I think it was one of my most recent ones. I think I called it "Meandering Chauvinist" or something like that. It was about like people who were very, who were like up in arms for one cause, and then a similar cause was getting like shut down or whatever like that. It's my very short. It was like 10 pages long, so there's a lot to it. And she sent me a lot of emails back, trying to convince me that I was wrong and I should be Christian. I got like a full one back. I got a couple poems. I got some stuff from the Civil War. I'm looking at it right now.
Of course, that'll help.
She's mentioning that the Republicans were in favor of full citizenship for like black people and against slavery, but she kind of skips out the part where the parties switch platforms, and they're different now.
Of course,
that's fine. She can try it.
Yeah, not to mention she herself is blatantly racist all the time.
All right, quick story. I don't want to make it too much, but I was in the back seat of the car with her, and she was driving, which first off is a problem. She should not be allowed to drive because she can't move her hands above her head.
She has us like get things for her while she's sitting down that are inches away. She cannot move her arms. She has no mobility. She should not be driving.
No, she does. She just refuses to use it. Like, because if you ever go in, like, see her next time you see her, she's gonna go in for a hug. Okay.
Yeah.
And she's gonna grab you and hold you like a monkey or something. She has a tremendous strength if she wants it. But it might just be like the weight
of a woman.
She's a battle axe. But yeah, it was like, oh man, it was really bad. We were at this. She was picking in more oxygen tanks.
Of course.
And right next door to the place with the oxygen tanks is a barbershop, and there's a white barbershop and there's a black barbershop. They both look different. White barbershops, certain side of town, certain kind of people hanging around.
Different culture.
Yeah, but it was a black barbershop, and I mentioned that because a black guy walked out, and the barbershop's name was Sharp Cuts.
Yeah.
And she looks down and she goes, I think they're doing something wrong in there. I just don't think that's right what they're doing in there. And I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Annie? And she's like, they're selling knives in there. They're selling knives illegally.
That's the most.
It's a barbershop.
That's the most illegal thing she could come up with. They're selling
and it's
knives.
Not illegal.
I know.
So, not only does she just blatantly profile these people,
Right.
doing something illegal. She blatantly profiles them for doing something that's not illegal, and then she calls the police. She pulls out her Nokia brick, dials the number for the police department in the city, and says, "Hey, I just want to let y'all know there's a barber shop here, and there's a lot of suspect people hanging around here, and I just don't think they're up to any good. And I was wondering, I'm pretty sure they're selling knives illegally." And she had it on speakerphone. I don't know why, because she can't hear whatever.
Right.
And the lady's like, "Oh, okay, we'll write that down, I guess." She's like, "If you could send someone out, that'd be great." And I had my hands in my head. I was, I felt really bad to be alive at that point.
She's super quick to pull the trigger with the police.
Yeah.
Like one time I was on a road trip with her. I don't know what we were doing, but like a motorcycle passes by us, and Granny Annie looks over while she's driving and is like, "Was that a motorcycle? That's not right," and calls the fucking police.
Oh man!
Because it was a motorcycle.
Did you ever hear her call 411 to call the police?
No.
We were in it was in Williamsburg. I don't know if you were there with me at the time. There was this guy.
Fuck.
She calls 411, which is basically a directory. It basically like you call 411.
It's the information line or whatever.
You're like, I need to call, like Tommy Wiseau, and it'll be like, all right, Tommy Wiseau lives in California, whatever, and then it'll like connect you to Tommy Wiseau or whatever. I don't know. But she calls him. She's like, call the Virginia Police Department, and they're like, Virginia? That's not a thing.
The Virginia Sheriff Department, maybe?
And she's like, just the Williamsburg Police Department, and then they connect her, and she's like, there's some people here that are selling things, and I don't think it's legal that they're selling it here. And it was in the middle of a park, basically.
Yeah.
And you can sell stuff, and it was like, okay, Williamsburg, Virginia. If you've never been, it's a place where people pretend to be in the 1600s. It's only white people that go there, because if you're only white people want to live at that time.
Yeah.
Indian, don't want to go there. Black, definitely don't want to go there. But yeah, it was pretty bad. Me and Chris went. It was on a train. The cool part about her going places, you get the handicap places, and those are just bigger, and you get to go on first.
You could say it's the only upside to spending time with her.
But yeah, it was pretty bad. She made us go to Williamsburg, and so to keep in touch with the times, I guess, since the whole trip was based around reading the 1600s, we weren't allowed to watch TV. No electronics whatsoever. I brought a Game Boy, and she took it from me and kept it in her purse the whole time. I was pretty upset. It was really annoying. And then the only reason I think we went is because we wanted to do the corn maze or a hedge maze. It was a hedge maze, and we were super excited about this hedge maze because we saw it on the website. Like, oh, it's gonna be great. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna beat the hedge maze. And it was like maybe to our hips. It was really small, and the entrance was the exit. There was only one way to get in or out. It was pretty fucking dumb.
Yeah, you could see through the hedges too.
Yeah, and it was really, really rough. I think the second coolest part that we were looking forward to was a fireworks show, and it rained. Yeah,
the fireworks were pretty cool. But
we had to put a poncho on Annie, which was hard. They didn't have one on her size, so we had to put two on her.
Yeah,
it was pretty rough. Yeah, that trip was a disaster. I went to her with her and Tom to Las Vegas. Well, okay, I went with her to DC on a train trip. This was like a 3-week trip or a 2-week trip from DC to Chicago to Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon and then back. But we only stopped in Las Vegas on the way there. I should mention, I went to Las Vegas with her. I was 11 at the time. I should not have been in Las Vegas. And it was a pretty bad experience, to say the least, because I'm like, oh, how come no one has their clothes on? And then he's like, oh, they're going to hell. It's just, she like put her bag over my eyes or something like that, and it was I didn't know what to do. It was really confusing, but it was like a decent trip because I got to hang with Tom a lot.
You see like Jay Leno there too?
Yeah. Oh my God, Jay Leno saw me in the front row. He's like, "What the hell are you doing here, kid?" I was like, my grandma made me come, and she's like, oh, it's our 50th anniversary. I think it was 40th or whatever, and made a big deal about it. But yeah, I almost touched a moose with Tom. That was pretty cool.
Moose. Nice.
Back when he was, functioning.
Yeah.
Times we had. But yeah, that trip was pretty much a disaster. Like, we were sitting on the train, and we had like a kind of bunk train, and she made me sit next to her to take a picture. Tom wasn't allowed to be in the picture; he had to take the picture. And like I was sitting next to her, but also behind her because like she was kind of spilling over into me. Yeah. She was that big at the time, and she's even bigger now. It was really gross and like just, yeah, it was bad. There's what else was there on the Williamsburg trip? That was bullshit. We stole a lot of bacon. We stole a fuck ton of bacon.
Oh yeah, we did. So
you had a Ziploc bag of bacon in your pocket.
Actually, yeah, that was the highlight for me of the trip. The breakfast at the Continental Inn at historical Williamsburg.
Historical Williamsburg
was the best breakfast I've ever had at any hotel. Like,
well,
and it was all
no one was there.
It was all you could fucking eat too. Like,
absolutely nobody was there.
Yeah,
so we were like the only people the whole time.
Well, yeah, because we got moved to another building, and like everyone was in the main building, and we got moved to like a side building.
Yeah.
So like, we got a whole breakfast buffet to ourselves, and the bacon was like the bacon, dude, was so bomb. Like I can still remember how good that bacon was.
Well, you took it. I mean, I took some and I put it in my pocket, but I got like pocket lint all over it and ruined it.
Yeah.
But you took a Ziploc bag from Annie, and then you just filled it with bacon. Like, you just took a
It was handful. Like a gallon bag, too.
You didn't even use the tongs. You were a fucking monster. Just grab your hands, stuck it in the thing.
You gotta get that bacon, dude. I'm sorry.
And then the whole day we were eating bacon. It was great.
Yeah.
Like bacon meat, and then bang, bacon on the spot.
Oh my god. Worth it. I don't even care if I get diabetes from that, like, in 40 years or whatever.
We've had, like, worse probable chances of having diabetes, but that's for another time.
Yeah, so basically what we're getting at here is Annie is probably the Antichrist.
Even though, okay, yeah, she's pretty Christian, and it's pretty bad.
She's she's the most annoying kind of Christian, the kind that just can't tolerate any non-Christians.
Well, okay, she was very anti-gays, very anti-gays.
Yeah.
And she was kind of trying to force me at like 12 years old to be like, you need to get married and you need to have kids, and you need to be a good Christian man and marry a good Christian woman. And then as I was like leaving out to, I almost left for the Navy. Chris is in the Navy. I almost left for the Navy, and this was almost 3 years ago now. Yeah, almost 3 years ago to the day. And I was like, actually, nah, I'm good, and I dipped.
Yeah.
I just dipped out of the Navy.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna be cool, like traveling the 7 seas together. But then he dipped out, and I had already signed my contract, so
yeah,
it was over.
He dipped. I dipped, but it's okay. But the reason I dipped is partially because of my health. My knees don't last that long. I have pretty bad knees, and I was curious. Like, I was gonna figure myself out, and Andy took that as oh, he's gay, and he doesn't want to be gay in the Navy. And I kind of ran with it. I was like, if that's what you want to live on, live on it. Okay. It wasn't like, it was kind of true. I was like, I might be gay. Let's figure it out. I found out pretty quickly, not gay.
Okay.
But, you know, I just had to check.
Did a little bit of that college experimentation.
Don't you know it? And actually, quick story. The reason I found out I wasn't gay is there was a friend of mine that was gay, and I told him, I was like, hey, I might be gay, and then he sent me a dick pic, and I was like, oh, I'm not gay. Never mind.
Of course.
So,
okay. Yeah.
That was a one-day experiment. And,
yeah. Sometimes I'm looking at huge acted movies, and I'm like, I just might be gay, and then I see that one angle in porn where it's just all balls and ass, and I realize, no, I am not gay. I lied.
It ruins the whole thing. But yeah, she took it as I was gay, and then she's all of a sudden pro-gay. She's like, oh, the gay people, the plight they have, it's almost as bad as Christians in the Middle East, because Christians are the big group that are taking L's this time of year. You know, not whatever she wants to say. I kind of let her say her thing, and then I kind of just record it, and then I tell everybody later. I'm like, oh, you won't believe what she just said.
Oh man.
Also, let's quickly mention what she sounds like. So, the thing she says most often is her husband's name, because her husband tries to sneak out and go do
he'll be
working or like play
across
golf.
the house, just like trying to get away for even a second.
We'll hear Tam, like across the house, and he's like, shit. Yeah, she just says Tom, but she really draws it out.
It's like a World War II bomber just about to like ruin his day.
Yeah, but it's really rough.
Yeah, it's
like when we used to hang out at her place.
It's the worst sound in the world.
So we stay up to like 4 a.m. playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PS2.
Every time we go there.
Everyone did it. We still do it today if we ever hang out. Yeah. And she'd wake up at like 6 in the morning or whatever, and she'd finally make it out to her chair at about 8 a.m. And that's the only walking she did all day before the next night she'd walk back to her bed or whatever. And she would just talk us awake. Like, not talk us to sleep, she would talk us awake. We were asleep, and now we're awake because she's talking. Yeah. And what is she talking about? We don't fucking know, because we're trying to sleep. I remember one time where it actually woke me up and I was pissed, and I almost yelled at her. She was talking about the TV show she was watching, and this was before she was, like, even more politically crazy. She was talking about how Democrats are causing problems. It wasn't even like a news thing. It was like, this is the reason why Democrats can't get along anymore. Democrats are I don't know. She was complaining about Democrats over, like, might have even been a sports show. I think it was like Sports Science or something like that.
Okay.
Where they like put a bunch of random numbers behind sports.
Yeah.
But it was rough. It was really rough. Never want to sleep in is Annie.
Yeah. So one time, like, she's like super. When I was growing up, I thought she was like super strict and conservative and Christian and all that. And I stayed up, watched. I was like 8. I stayed up till South Park came on, and I was like, "Oh boy, here we go." And it's 3 in the morning, watching South Park.
Who shuffles out? I'm not gonna say walk because she didn't walk.
Yeah, I was about to say shuffled, so you're completely on point. She shuffles out, and I don't hear her because she's somehow so large and so silent.
Well, she lived in a trailer at the time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it didn't feel like a trailer. It was a trailer, but it didn't feel like
it was one of those like mobile homes. It's like not a mobile home.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones they like put down, like it's gonna be there forever.
Yeah.
But anyway, she shuffles out. I don't hear her. She comes up behind me and she's like, and it's like one of those parts where Cartman's doing something like terrible, like something you wouldn't want your mom to see.
Like calling Kyle a Jew and then like saying fag a lot or something like that.
Yeah, and like killing someone or something. I don't know. But basically, she comes out during one of those moments and she's like, "Oh, what is this?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck!"
It's too late to turn it off.
Yeah, it's too late to turn it off. I'm like,
turn it back on.
I'm just watching a show, and she's like, "Ah, okay." And then she's like, "All right, well, I'm just gonna get some water and go to bed." And then the next day, she's like, "So, I looked up the show you were watching."
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, "How did you even know what to look up? The fuck?" She gave me like a whole lecture on just basically why I'm evil.
Yeah.
and what I can do to change. And then
yeah.
She tried to like replace that show with her shows that she likes, like Jeopardy, which I do like Jeopardy, not gonna lie.
Jeopardy's pretty good, yeah.
And like Wheel of Fortune, which I hate.
Fuck Wheel of Fortune.
Not a fan. There's
no skill involved.
There's too much fanfare in Wheel of Fortune, you know? It's like too much
I
showmanship.
Can't clap that much.
I'm not gonna clap after every letter you guess, silly lady.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. Like they you spin it. They're like, oh well, good spin.
And Vanna White, I'm sure she's very talented, but what is she doing? She's pointing at shit.
She's just walking back and forth. It's not that hard.
Come on, dude. Anyway, yeah. So another thing I'd like to talk about is Granny Annie's political career.
starting and ending with Ben Carson.
No, you forget, it started with her pretty much running, apparently, like Jeb Bush's governorship campaign in Florida.
She did not. No way. She can't walk.
After that, she got a couple pictures holding Jeb Bush's hand, kind of just like
very, very bad pictures. I should say.
They're all so bad.
Look at Thomas taking them. He's like, I don't know. He's not great at taking pictures. He's a normal guy where he's like just not good at it. And it was all like blurry and like red eyes and all that.
Yeah, anyway. So like she does that, then she moves on to her next victim, Ben Carson. I don't know if you
both failed politicians.
So I don't know if anyone remembers Ben Carson in the presidential.
The only black guy in the Republican primary. The only
black guy in the Republican primary. He looked like he was asleep all the time on stage. She reads this book or whatever, like the whole "I'm a brain surgeon and this is how you can be saved by Jesus Christ" book. I'm not really sure what the book was about. I didn't read it.
Well, he was like, I stabbed somebody, but they were saved because of their belt, and then I turned to God and became a brain surgeon. It's like those don't correlate, but okay.
All right, Satan. Anyway, Ben Carson, this really just lovable little guy. Like you don't want anything to happen to him. You don't want him to win the presidential election, but you don't want him to lose either. Like he's just so cute, right? Like
he's like, oh, you're doing your best, Ben. Good job.
Doing your best, Ben. Even Trump gave him like a little pat on the head. Like
he's just like, oh, you did okay. Become like just like what was it, Secretary for Urban Development and Housing?
Yeah, he gave him the most stereotypical.
The only thing like he thought belonged to like a black guy or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But anyway, like Ben Carson obviously didn't work. I actually went to like a Ben Carson gala.
I remember that. She kept telling me that I needed to go with you.
I've been to a few galas with her actually, like for her Republican. Rick Scott, another person she got behind.
The snake himself.
I've been to a gala for him too. What a guy. The baldest person. He looks like Lord fucking Voldemort. All right.
That's because he is. Like that's who he played. Yeah.
He's fucking Lord Voldemort. Anyway.
Literally the worst person of all time, unless there's a hurricane.
Yeah, he's not a very good governor, or I think he's a senator now.
He went to be a senator now, but like
back when he was governor, terrible. He was not that good. Like he promoted really tourism, and that's about it.
Which is all you need to do in Florida.
Yeah,
and then he kind of just did a weird smile. Otherwise,
yeah.
But
when there was a hurricane, he was there. He was always there. Yeah. He was the rock that we hid behind.
the rock of Florida, the only rock we have.
The shield that guarded the realms of Florida. What a guy. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Granny backed him forever throughout his whole run. And she probably still backs him.
Yeah, she does. She has, like, on the car they don't use, they have a Rick Scott sticker.
Great. I think is he running for president in 2020?
It'd be absolutely hilarious if he does.
I would vote for him. If a hurricane ever hits the U.S.
He's there. He's everywhere.
Yeah. Anyway, so...
yeah.
Well, for people in Florida, it's getting old, probably, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, so her next victim after that is the one, the only, Donald J. Trump.
Oh boy!
After Ben Carson drops out of the race, Granny does a complete 180 on Trump. She used to hate the guy, and then she's like, "Oh my!"
Well, Ben Carson dropped out. She's like, "Well, now I have to."
She's like, "Oh my gosh, Trump is the best president ever," and literally. Okay, so like, love him or hate him, Trump's Trump, okay?
Yeah. So if Trump was a woman and like 20 years older, Annie.
Oh, I would not give Trump that.
Was that too much of an insult to Trump?
Yeah, I would not give Trump that much credit.
Okay.
Like, if you think Trump's evil, you haven't met Annie, and that's just facts.
Like he's a bad guy, but if Annie was president, it'd be a lot worse.
She wouldn't just ban Mexicans; she would ban everyone that isn't her. Basically.
Yeah. If you weren't white, like if you don't go to church,
if you weren't in her family, you're gone.
And she's still banning some of us. Shout out Michael.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's been backing various Republican candidates throughout her little volunteer career, and every single time I'd go to a gala with her and she talks to the actual candidate, it is the most awkward thing ever because they're like, "Oh, we really appreciate your support, thank you," and they they like try to break up the shaking hands, and she does the thing where she like puts another hand on the other side of their hand and squeezes, and she's like,
"Now listen to my ideas. I have a lot of them."
She like does a little thing where she like waves and she's like, "Come here," and they have to lean down because she's in a wheelchair, and like. She whispers shit in their ear, and they're like, "Okay," and then she's like, "Yeah, but also," and she just keeps going, and like they're just trying to get away, dude. They got other people to meet and greet. They're fucking politicians. Let them go. But she doesn't get it. Like she has no idea what social cues are at all.
Well, I think she does, but she chooses to ignore them. Like she's so caught up in her own story that she's telling everybody and herself.
Yeah.
That she's like, "Oh, she just like she loses herself in it."
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh my god.
Probably oh, okay. So I was on a robotics team.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty nerdy thing. I was proud of it. It was pretty fun to do, but it was super nerdy, and like it was pretty bad to the point where like it was Gangnam Style, fidget spinners. It was really bad.
Oh god.
But she intended on going to like every single event we had, and absolutely ruining it. Like it was terrible. Like she would take flash photography from the stands, and I knew it was her because she would take it and then squeal, not like a pig. Like you ever see that video of the what was it? The like Illinois, there was like Illinois or Iowa like pig squeal competition, pig calling competition.
I haven't.
It sounded like that. I'll have to show you. It was fucking terrible.
We'll link it in the description.
Oh yeah, and. It was terrible, and she does that like during my basketball games. All right, so I was shooting a free throw in a basketball game, and I don't know why she was there, but she was there at the game. And if you're shooting a free throw, it's usually pretty quiet, especially in a high school arena where no one, like, there's not enough people to like really distract you.
Yeah.
So everyone's just kind of quiet and lets you shoot. And I'm sitting there. I bounced the ball a couple times. The only sound in the gym is like me bouncing the ball. And the second I stop bouncing the ball and pick it up, she goes, "You can do it, Will!" And I break both free throws. I can't make them after that. It was horrible. Like I like.
Your mind just flashes back to your childhood, and you're like, "Oh god." Oh.
My coach pulled me out of the game, right? Like
he's raging.
Crazy after, and he's like, "Since when do you miss free throws?" Because I was usually pretty good. I was like, "My grandma's here, and." It's a problem.
And she's the worst.
And he was like, "Okay." And then he put me back in later, and I made a couple shots. And as I'm running back down the court after I made a shot, she's like, "Yay, Will, yay! That's my grandson." And I was like, "Fucking god damn it!"
Real talk. Why isn't she dead yet?
That's a great question. So here's my theory.
Let's go through a list real quick of what is actually ailing her. Okay, she has no shoulders, no hips.
Well, no, they're titanium.
Oh, sorry, no, she took her titanium shoulders out. Like they're gone, apparently.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah, so she has titanium hips. She has definitely diabetes, type 2.
Oh yes, she's had that for a while.
She's morbidly obese. Like morbidly doesn't begin to describe it.
So
she has fat where no one else has fat.
Like I said earlier, if you sit next to her, you don't only sit next to her, you sit behind her.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
She is she's old as fuck. She's 70 something. 70.
Yeah. Well, in like her defense, as far as age, my dad is older than her by a month and is in like super good shape.
Yeah.
But like the fact that she isn't like doesn't do shit
and she's still alive.
Yeah.
I'm very hopeful that for my life now after seeing her, like, wow, I'm gonna live forever.
Yeah, it's like it's really gross.
But yeah, she's got tons of other shit I don't even know about too, by the way. Just like she's apparently allergic to everything, and she has random surgeries because she's a hypochondriac.
So my dad actually told me this story. It was before I was born. But she went to a doctor and said, "I need shoulder surgery." and the doctor said,
"That's a tongue twister."
Yeah, it's a shoulder surgery. Fuck, shoulder surgery. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
She said she needed that. The doctor she went to said, "No, you don't. You're fine. You don't need it." So she went to a different doctor, and that doctor said the same thing. She was like, "You don't need one. You're fine. Chill out." And then she finally went to another doctor, and she talked that doctor into giving her a surgery, and she got shoulder surgery, even though she didn't need it, and like was like out of commission for a really long time. And when I said like she got a bunch of money out of a settlement and pissed it away, it was on surgeries. She just like got a ton. I guess it's because she wanted the like attention, or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was. She still does stuff like that now, where she goes to the doctor. After I might have already said this today. I don't know. She said like the doctor said she can't go outside. She came home and said the doctor said she can't go outside.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty sure she just talked herself into, like as she was talking to the doctor, and then said, "Oh, so what you're saying is like I shouldn't be going outside." She's like, "Oh no, you just shouldn't be doing like heavy activity or something like that." And she's like, "Oh, I guess I shouldn't go outside." And then on the way home, she's like, "I'm not going to go outside. Doctor said I shouldn't go outside," because she talks herself into like different truths. That's how she talked herself into Trump, away from Ben Carson.
Yeah.
She just kind of, this is Trump's good. He says he's good. Yeah, he's the best. Trump's the best.
Probably the best.
Yeah, Trump is the best. Yeah, he's gonna do great. I like Trump. He's the best. And it was okay.
Yeah.
You kind of just
we
was like,
believe
all right, you. Sure thing. Yeah, this is pretty regular stuff that she does. Or she just I guess wants a ton of attention, and that's why she calls me a lot too. It's like when you finally go back down to Melbourne, she wants me to drive her down there so she can see your sister's concert as well as see you.
Of course.
But I think what I'm going to do is drive her down there, but get a tape recorder and tape record the whole thing. and then like afterwards, like I'll make sure to like timestamp it all. So it'll be like right on my arm will be like, "Oh, at 4:45, she said Jews are evil." Okay, or like just like write down everything she says and then make a supercut of it.
Yeah,
it'll last probably still be an hour long, but it should be pretty fun. She's gonna attack me a lot. I can't wait.
Oh my god, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Oh, and when you come down, we can record a live, in-person podcast.
I can't wait.
For the only time ever. Pretty much.
Probably. Yeah. Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We get on a sailboat and we do some sea shanties. I mean, like only you and me know the sea shanties, but we get Mark in on it.
You want to do sea shanties?
Yeah, they're dope as fuck, dog.
They are dope, but it's got to come about naturally. You don't go out to do sea shanties. You do sea shanties because you're out on a boat.
Fine, okay then. Let's go camping on an island. Jeez.
All right, and we can do sea shanties on the way if they come up naturally and organically.
Okay, will do.
Cool.
Anyway, do you remember the boat we went on with Annie? It was like a deep sea fishing boat. Everyone threw up. There was the Pringles can.
Oh yeah, this was when we were very, very young.
Yeah, we were super young. We were like 8 or 9.
I don't remember anything about that other than just throw up everywhere.
I think we fed grapes to dolphins.
Yeah,
like there were dolphins trailing the ship. We were on the boat.
They're probably dead.
And yeah, we fed them grapes. I don't know if that's good or not. They ate them.
I know you're not supposed to feed like cats or something grapes. It's something you're not allowed to feed grapes.
Could be dolphins. We don't know.
Fish? Oh God.
Everyone threw up. Michael threw up, and then Mark slipped in it. He was a baby. He slipped and fell. Katie, my sister, puked a lot. It was a terrible experience, and Annie was just there, like having a great old time. Like, what a stupid idea. Also, okay, has she ever done this to you? So before, she used to have a push wheelchair, so people had to push her around. Now she has like an automatic wheelchair.
Yeah.
But I used to have to push her around places, and we were in Mount Dora, the dumbest of Florida places.
Oh God.
And we did a Segway tour around. Me and Tom did a Segway tour, and it was pretty fun. We had a great time together. But then on the way back, and we dropped our Segways off, and we were just walking around. I was pushing Annie up a hill, and she was telling me about all these different things I've done wrong in like high school. I shouldn't be playing basketball. I should be I should already be like trying to get into colleges. And I was like, listen, I could let go of this wheelchair. You could fall down the hill, and it's an accident. I don't get charged because I'm underage. I'm white, so I'm definitely not getting charged.
Yeah.
There's that white privilege for you, in case you didn't know that it existed. It does. But yeah, like,
burn.
She will like, you'll be doing a like a favor to her, and then she's belittling you as you do it, and you'd be like, well, fuck you then. I won't do shit then. It's pretty bad. God. It's really annoying.
She's the worst.
Yeah. No fun to be around. Well, it's fun to be around if like you're not the one getting yelled at.
Well, so, I don't even think that's true at all, because like I don't know if you've ever been in a restaurant with her, but she will she will not scream, but like just absolutely verbally destroy, like Ben Shapiro style, any waiter or waitress that comes her way.
And not just that. Okay, it gets worse.
Yeah.
Before you show up to the restaurant, she has everybody's food already ordered.
Yeah, you don't get to order your own food. She knows what's the best thing to order. So
I hate salad. I never eat salad. I'm not a rabbit. I won't eat it.
Okay.
And we went to this one place, and it was like a buffet place, and she still had food ordered for us. I don't know how she did it. But it was a buffet, and she made sure, like, when we showed up there was food already on the table. And in front of me was a salad, and I said, I'm not eating salad. I don't eat salad. Annie, you know this. And she said, no, you'll like it. You'll like it. Just eat it. You'll like it. And I said, I'm not eating it. I won't eat it. Whatever. And then your mom, Heidi, tried to force me to eat salad. She's done this 3 times in my entire life, by the way.
Okay. To be fair, she's still like locked into as you like how you were when you were a kid, like when you refused to eat sometimes, and she thinks like you refusing to eat anything is like you relapsing back to the time when you were like anorexic, basically. Well, like last time I was there, I was like, this was before I even went to the Navy. Well, this was when I was like thinking about going in the Navy. Oh.
I was 18 or 19 last time I was there. I'm 22 now. But she fucking put salad on my plate before I got to dinner. Like she made me a plate and it was just salad.
Yeah.
And everyone else was having fish. I was pretty upset. And I was like, Heidi, thanks for the salad, but I don't eat salad. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. And then she kind of gave me a lot of flack for it. I was like, listen, I know it's probably great. It's just I don't eat salad. It's not my thing. And then so she picked up the fork and then tried to force it into my mouth. My mouth was closed.
Fuck.
And I was like, I'm not eating it, Annie or Heidi.
Oh God.
And she finally gave up on me, and she walked out of the room, and she was pretty upset. But I was like, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like offend you, but I don't eat salad. And I mean, Annie does it all the time.
Yeah.
And then she belittles the waiter a lot. One time she got mashed potatoes, and she specifically requested no spices on it, no butter, no sour cream, no nothing. Like it's just straight potato.
Like the whitest person mashed potatoes of all time.
Pull it out of the ground and then step on it a bunch of times. That's the kind of potato she wanted.
Yeah.
And then she gets it, she starts to eat it, and she's like, I don't like this. So she grabs a waiter, like the nearest one, not even the one we have, like the guy who's serving us. And she didn't, like, when I say grab him, I mean she physically grabbed him. Even though she can't move, she still, I guess, grabbed him. And she says,
claws.
Hey, these mashed potatoes, they taste like wallpaper paste. I don't want these. And the guy was like, wallpaper paste? What the fuck? I assumed that meant it was bland. And it was. I just could tell by looking at it.
Yeah. And
she asked for more. And she's like, oh, it's a little bit better, but it's still the same thing. And I assume what they did is they took the plate back, like, swirled the potatoes up to make it look different, and then sent it back to her. And she's like, okay, fine. But she likes to start shit. And,
yeah. Nothing's ever good for her. It's pretty bad. Also, there's that one time, oh god, she's like the worst with money as well. Like,
oh my god.
So, old Tom has been working 50 years as a
to be fair,
as a teacher and as a pastor.
Yeah. She was a teacher, so not. I mean, I want to be a teacher, but like
yeah, you don't make a lot of money.
I'm fine with that.
And as a pastor, you don't make a lot of money.
So yeah, they're poor.
But they had a savings at one point.
Yeah,
they kept spending money in retirement.
I told you they had. Annie got a shit ton of money from a settlement after getting like beat up by a kid, and like she pissed it away, like really fast.
Yeah, she probably used it on like random surgeries or shit she didn't need. She buys so much random shit. Like she used to send me packages of
she used to send me some too, but she stopped.
Random gifts, and I'm like, okay. And then like I'll ask my mom about it. I'm like, yo, how is she affording all this? She lives in a trailer basically.
Now she lives in an apartment, and like she's still struggling there because she's still selling stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know like what's going through her mind sometimes. I don't know if she gets money from the political stuff she does or not.
No, it's all volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah, she helps also organize like super PACs and stuff.
She ever told you about the what was it? She keeps telling me she gets emails from Donald Trump, like personalized emails.
Oh, really?
She doesn't know it's like a staffer of his because his signature is at the bottom of his emails. Like if it's coming from the White House, there's a signature of his on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Of any president, it doesn't matter which president.
Yeah.
And she like just assumes it's straight from him because she says she's working for him, which I think is just.
She probably watches those YouTube ads, and he's like, where he's like talking about whatever, like
whatever, build the wall.
You've seen them, right? Yeah. Like those YouTube ads where he's just like, my fellow Americans,
like
we need to come together and build the wall.
So a lot of presidents have said, my fellow Americans. I think it's fair to say none have done it better than George W.
Oh yeah.
It just sounded great coming out of him.
I can't even do the accent, right? I'm not even gonna try. Anyway.
My fellow Americans.
Nah.
I can't do it either. I gotta look it up now.
It's so great. Anyway. So, like, she probably watches those, and she's like, oh, it's a personalized message for me. He's talking to me through my computer.
Sure. Okay.
I feel like that's exactly what she thinks. Alright, go ahead. Are you gonna play it?
Oh, that's a fake one. That's not real. Remember when George Bush had a shoe thrown at him?
Yeah, that was badass.
That shoe is now in a museum, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
He ducked the fuck out of that, too. Quick-ass reflexes. Say what you want about George Bush. Terrible president? Maybe. Amazing.
Great reactions.
Amazing reactions? Definitely. Also, seemed like just a chill guy. I don't know if you've seen him after retirement.
Yeah, he's just relaxing.
Just maxing and relaxing. I don't know what he's involved with. Probably something pretty dark, but like...
Yeah.
He is in the Illuminati. He's literally in the Illuminati. So,
oh, yeah.
No, like, I'm talking about the actual... So, like, you know, like, the sect of the Masonic Lodge that are...
Oh, that's, like, super creepy, yeah.
There's, like, the real Illuminati. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's actually part of that. Like, he's up there. But...
I, for one, am shocked.
I, for one, don't even care. Dude's awesome. I like his vibe, you know?
He seems like he's always having a good time.
He just always... Did you see him in that flight suit? Look badass.
Oh, yeah, he was having a fucking whale of a time.
He had fun. He had a lot of fun being president. Until 9/11.
Ah, fuck. 9/11. God damn it. I think he might have had something to do with it.
He actually might have had more fun afterwards. Anyway, yeah.
Slight tangent.
We kind of went off the theme of the episode. Went to talking about George W.
George W.
George W. I can do like a Clinton talking about George
Clinton's
W.
a pretty easy one to do.
He's a pretty easy one. You can always rely on old Clinton.
Yeah, he's always having a good time.
Oh yeah, he is. Oh yeah, he is.
With who? Everybody.
If you're not having a good time with Clinton, you're probably ugly.
Those are
the facts. Anyway, yeah. So, in synopsis, we have a bad grandma. She's crazy. She's the worst.
Yeah, she's pretty bad. Any other quick little stories you got on? I'm trying to think of any.
I don't got any off the top of my head that are really, worth telling. They're all just the same, pretty much. When you boil
they're all
down.
the same. Like I'll show up to work some days and I'll tell some of my friends at work, I'll be like, you won't fucking believe this shit. And they're like, oh, what'd you do? And I'm like, guess what? Oh, okay, here's one I just told recently. So my sister is 24.
Yeah.
And she was recently at my at Annie's for Mother's Day. And at this Mother's Day thing, Annie decided to give her and all of your siblings, Mark and Rose and all them, Heidi was there too, give them a full-on like birds and the bees talk.
Right.
So Rose is underage. Mark probably already knows about this, and my sister is 24.
So this was like really recent.
Yeah, my sister's been there.
This is the Mother's Day. Okay, yeah, I got a call during that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and she said, well, this was actually Tom who said it. So Tom, I think, is going a little bit crazy too.
Yeah. Well, I've heard him give the birds and bees talk before.
This is weird. This is super weird. He goes, well, guys, when we were trying to have Heidi our first time, we made sure that we kept an open Bible on the nightstand so that God was watching when blessed us with a child. And it's like, excuse me?
Like God's eyes are in a Bible.
Like God's eyes were watching you have sex.
So weird.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, another one. Old Granny herself gave me a birds and bees talk one time. Because, like, it was, like, the weirdest circumstances. So, like, Tom was sitting on a couch. This is back when they lived in the trailer. He was sitting on a couch, just chilling. I think he was working on some model of something. He likes to do his models. But, Granny's in the kitchen, I think, making some kind of food. It wasn't even, like, a mealtime. But,
yeah. Well, it takes her a while, so.
I come out of the bathroom, and Granny just turns around and says right to my face, Does your wiener get hard?
Oh, God.
When you look at girls? And I'm like,
what?
Okay, well, I had just come out of the shower, all right, and I was like, all right, so I'm about to go to bed. This is not what I was hoping to go to bed with.
Yeah.
But now that we're here,
well,
we might as well play along. So, I'm like, yeah, Granny, every time.
No.
And she says, oh, okay, that's good. And I'm like, does she not know how this works? I don't
get hard. Make sure you're not gay.
I don't get hard every time a girl passes me. Like, she actually thought every time a female passes by a guy, he instantly goes to full erection. This was her, because she asked, she was like, after that, she was like, hey, Tom, back when you were young, did you, and I was talking to you, were you hard?
God.
And I was like, whoa! And he was like, yeah, sometimes. And I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, I thought guys always got hard whenever a girl was around. And I'm like, this is the worst conversation I have ever been a part of.
I never want to be a part of a lot of conversations, but I definitely don't want to be a part of this one.
This one right here, definitely the worst. I never want to come back.
So, here's one to end on.
Okay.
She was, I was at her place, her new place, like the apartment, and she was telling us about a pool table.
Right.
And we used to have a pool. We have a pool table now at my house, my parents' house, and it was given to us by her. And she said, "Do you guys still have that pool table?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, we do. It's still sitting there. Me and Casey play with it sometimes. Casey's my brother." And she goes, "Oh, okay." And I remember the fun me and Tom used to have on that, and I was like, "You can't play pool, but whatever." Tom's pretty good at pool, and she was like, "Do you know any cool sex moves yet?"
Oh.
And this was in the middle of an old folks' home. I was like not prepared for this at all.
Well, old folks' homes, they're banging all the time.
Yeah, and I was like, "No, it's not my thing. I don't want to have sex. I'm not really interested in it." She's like, "Oh man, I remember the fun Tom and I used to have." And Tom's like already trying to tell her to shut up, but he can't get her to shut up. She's just talking, and she won't shut up.
He's doing the thing where he's like, honey,
and she shuts him up. She pushes him away. She's like, "No, fuck off."
Complete control.
And she goes, "Oh, Tom used to mount me up on that table, and then he'd shoot all the pool balls into me."
Fucking God.
And I was like, "Oh,
Into
man."
her.
Like, I don't. That's all I heard. So I don't know what hole he was talking about, or like if it was just like at her, or she like getting like bruised, or I don't know. It was really rough to like listen to.
You know, it sounds kind of unchristian to me.
It is pretty unchristian. That's like
Isn't there
sex with not the goal of having kids.
isn't there a part in the Bible that says thou shalt not shoot pool balls into each other's orifices?
It's like I think it's like Leviticus 69:420. I think that's the
Yeah,
that's
probably.
The
Oh my God.
yeah, but it's, that ruined me. That really ruined me.
Yeah, I remember you were traumatized for like a whole week.
I was interested in sex up until that point, but then she told me about that, and I was no longer interested. So women, sorry, not interested.
Yeah, but
Keep
also
your,
as a consolidation, all you ladies out there, I am single, so go ahead and hit me up.
You are gonna die in the military though, so
Yeah, true.
F.
But hey, insurance money.
That's true. You get that G bill or the GI bill. Yeah, get that too.
Exactly. All right. Well, I think this was a good first episode. We vented about our grandma for an hour.
That's pretty good, I'd say.
Now, we wanted to get that out of the way because for the rest of the podcast, we will not be venting about our grandma.
We might bring her up from time to time.
Well, we might bring her up. She might come up, but we wanted to get that one out of the way. It's the idea that kind of started the whole.
Yeah, we're like, all right, we need to
place.
get this out here so people can understand that this is a thing that we have to deal with.
This
also,
is a person that exists.
Everything we said, 100% real.
Yeah.
If I can get an audio recording of her, I will. I'll make sure that she has I don't know. She's a real person. She's really crazy. We're not lying about this. I swear to God. We have a lot of other cousins we might bring on and see if they want to.
We're gonna be bringing on guests in the future. Hopefully,
see if they want to vent as
well. Celebrity guests. Probably not though.
I'm thinking T-Pain. He'd be a good one.
T-Pain would be cool. I heard he's actually really nice.
Yeah, he streams online too. He's streams on Twitch.
Oh, yeah. Sick. But yeah, we'll get T-Pain on. Whoever else wants to hop on, it's gonna be pretty casual. Just talks like this.
Yeah.
We might talk when something heavy like politics comes up. I don't know. We'll deal with it.
Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's fun to talk about, but you just gotta be.
I'm a fan of debating. You know.
Yeah,
I don't really care about politics in general. I'm pretty apolitical.
I like to say somewhere in the middle. Where in that middle? I don't fucking know.
Well, yeah.
I'll figure it out.
But anyway, we're gonna start off with just some low key guests, like relatives and friends and shit.
Yeah, keep it simple. Keep it safe.
Anyway, well, if you wanna support the channel, please please subscribe,
and please shoot me in the face.
Yeah, please just tell us to end it all because that's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling at the moment. All right, this is Chris signing off.
Don't you know it? My name is Tommy Two Times.
Tommy Two Times.
Tommy Two Times.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
All right.
I done did it.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Oh shit. Anyway.
Yep.
Fun times.
Bye.
I will see y'all later.